Let's talk about it. Come on and shout it. I talk, you talk, we talk. Women talk life. It ain't no surprise. Baby, you could see if you would open up your eyes. You won't understand if you can't open up your mind. So let's stop wasting time when women talk live.
And welcome to another episode of Women's Talk Live. I'm your girl, Apple J.
I'm SassyScribe.
And this is Elle, Boogie.
And we are doing part 2 of Girl. That shit ain't love.
That ain't love. That shit ain't love. It's chaos and you confusing it with chemistry.
Right, exactly. So this is part 2. So we're gonna get into all the reasons why these trauma and these patterns and repeats and the recycling, like, no.
And you know what? There's a reason why when we look at it. It's women. I don't know too many men that do it. Women. I can only speak for women. It's women on the panel. I'm a woman. Right. We overlook so much shit. We see glaring red flags, and it's like, no, that's more fuchsia, maybe hot pink. It's not quite red. You know what I mean? We ignore. And I'll take Meg Thee Stallion, for example, when she said, when I stayed by you through all your mood swings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Been there.
But, it's really, we're taught that way when we're, growing up, especially the older generation, I'll say. We were taught to be seen and not heard. We were taught to, always be a lady, don't cause a lot of problems. We were told to stand by your man and all of those things.
Yeah.
Accept a lot of behavior that was negative. And then we grew up in a generation of women who really didn't have autonomy. So they were kind of beholden to the men that ran their lifestyle.
Right. But hold that thought, because we got to get into our history. No, it's fine. This is why we want to do part 2.
We ready.
Right. So, but real quick, we want to get into a couple of our history facts. I found a few that were quite interesting. The first one has to do with weaponizing cats.
Cats, like cats,
like cats. Yeah.
Like I
cannot stand.
I said like meow cats. I can't stand cats.
No, I can't stand cats.
They sneaky as shit.
Yeah, I don't. But here we go. So ancient Persia may be the only army in history to win a war by weaponizing cats. At the Battle of Persium in 525 BCE, the Persians reportedly marched into the Egyptians holding cats, biases, and other sacred animals in front of them, basically screaming, "Shoot, and you're the bad guy." The Egyptians, terrified of harming their holy creature, let them take the city and the pharaoh's throne with minimal resistance. And while most cats today limit their heroic to knocking things off the shelf, one modern feline, Simon of HMS Aramis, actually earned the Dickin Medal, the animal version of the Victorian Cross, for barely catching rats during World War II.
Did you say the dicking? Isn't that
Dicking medal? That's what it's called, the Dicking medal. Yes,
I'm gonna let it go.
Yeah,
I'm gonna.
But I mean, if you an Egyptian, cats, alligators, these were sacred animals to Egyptians. So when they came in with the cats saying, "Hey, shoot," they were like, "Yeah."
Well, I mean, but you can see that through the history books. Everything had a feline silhouette, or they had the feline statues, so you could see that was a sacred animal for them.
Right.
But the cats, even now, I don't know if people realize, for when you're pregnant, women aren't supposed to change cat litter or be near cats because of a germ or bacteria that's in the thing. But I found out that cats, when you get more than one cat, they emit something that make you take care of them, even to the exclusion of taking care of yourself. That's why you get a lot of old people who have multiple cats. They'll buy cat food before they buy their food. And it's insane. I don't know what the cats do, but there's something that happens in your brain that makes you take care of the cats, even to your own demise.
Yeah, they some sneaky motherfuckers. I can't stand them.
Yeah, I can't. I don't like that.
I don't either. I'm
not really an animal lover, but if I had my druthers, I would get a fish. But if I had to have a 4-legged animal in the house, it would definitely be a dog. It would not be that.
No,
I'm cool with my dog.
I'm cool with my dogs. Well, I'm cool with my dog. Well, it's my daughter's dog, but
Yeah.
all right. So the next one has to do with cows.
Moo.
For most of human history, drinking cow's milk would have looked less like got milk and more like got questions. Humans only really got into milk business after they settled down into farming life around the Fertile Crescent, domesticating sheep, goat, and later cattle, so they could finally do the one thing you can't do with a wild cow: get close enough to milk it without becoming a cautionary tale. Early farmers seem to have started using milk in food like porridges and grain mixes, which is basically the original cereal. Just when fewer cartoon mascots and more guessing about where this was breakfast or religious ceremony, over time, human populations evolved better lactose intolerant, and cow's milk went from weird experimental animal juice to the everyday splash in your coffee or cereal.
I hate
milk. I don't particularly. I can't type it.
Even as a kid, when I would have milk in my cereal, I would literally like just put just enough to get the cereal moist and then throw the cereal out. I cannot. I will eat dry cereal before I put milk in it.
Yeah, I do too. If I eat, like, the only cereal that I really, really eat is probably like, I'll eat some Cheerios and some Frosted Flakes, but I'll cut up bananas. I will not put milk in it.
Now, I do eat Cheerios and bananas as a snack because it's such especially the
I hate bananas.
The honey. Oh my God.
Yes.
The honey Cheerios.
Yes. The honey nut Cheerios.
Giving Cheerios free advertising here, but yes.
Yeah.
But I do, and I eat Frosted Flakes just as a snack. But I hate milk. I hate.
Oh my God! He said I eat Frosted Flakes as a snack.
I can't.
I eat shredded wheat. I eat the shredded wheat biscuit as a snack.
Oh, okay. Nice.
I do. That's a good snack. I love frosted shredded wheat.
Yeah. All right. So last one. Flying cars aren't just sci-fi. One was buzzing around in 1949, decades before the Jetsons were even on TV. Former naval engineer Malt Taylor built the Aero Car, a car-plane mashup that could go from the road to the runway in under 15 minutes. Then famously drove it into a demo, folded out the wings, and flew it back just to flex for investors. It got certified in 1956, but with only 6 ever built, the Aero Car ended up as a glossy magazine and TV guest star, including on the Bob Cummings show, and was flying traffic reporters in Portland instead of family cars your dad threatened to turn around on family vacations.
Wow. I ain't getting in it.
And that's
like the people that got into that damn submarine and went down to. I don't give a two shits about the Titanic. You think you're gonna get me in a flying car because you decided that Skippy be a bitch. I would never get in it.
I mean, basically, that's what airplanes are. They're just flying vehicles.
I was thinking of that.
They are flying tin cans. Yes, they are. But it's been tested. Speaking of airplanes, we realize that Spirit Airlines has never had a crash, right? We do realize that. It's the only airline that's never had a crash, I believe.
Wow.
I did not know that.
With a lot of African American pilots and flight attendants. Just want to throw that out there for people.
That's how intelligent Black people are. All right.
We know. We know. That's the fear, that matrifocal that they fear. That they fear.
But that's
why they study us so much. I mean, they study us so much they don't understand, which is why they're completely baffled right now as to why, as a whole, we heard the ancestors say, "Sit your motherfucking ass down."
And don't move.
And don't move.
Right. Ooh. All right. So speaking of sitting your ass down. All right. So we want to get into part 2 of Girls That They Love. And what we want to kind of, we started getting into, but didn't really kind of fully dive into it, is attachment styles and trauma and repeating the same pattern over and over and over and over again. I was talking to someone about, it was this, because I watch HGTV. So it was this lady on there who had a show with her then husband. Then they split up and she got married again. And
you talking about the Almusas. You talking about the Almusas.
And I didn't realize that that the last show she had with the husband was her third husband. So I was saying to myself, I was talking to someone, and I said, after a while you start thinking maybe it ain't the other person. Maybe it's you. Maybe you.
Maybe.
Maybe. Chaos. So, I guess
KL, you got to mute, baby.
She's at her restaurant, y'all.
Yeah, she at her restaurant. See, that's how we do. She at her restaurant. We pulling her away.
Yeah.
Look, I had to close the door because it's getting ready to get hot in here.
Okay.
Look. I told somebody today, I was like, that's not love, that's lunacy, honey. All that stuff you talk about.
Right. Right. So, but if for chasing the roller coaster, so this is what chasing the roller coaster. If you have an anxious attachment style, such as overthinking texts, and somebody gets silent on you, don't respond right away. Feel high when they're giving you attention, or sick when they, pull back, or like I said, don't text you for a whole day. Work overtime to prove you're easygoing so they don't leave. Like,
I mean, I can say, I would say back in the day, as I got older and matured, I can actually say that I don't worry about them not texting back or not calling back, because I'm going to do one or two things. I'm going to call you. I'm going to text you. You saw the text, because don't tell me you didn't see it, because I know how much you have your phone when we're together. You saw the missed phone call. Don't tell me you didn't see it, because I know how much you're on your phone. So I could say maybe even 10 years ago, that shit would have had me like, why ain't they calling back? What's going on? But now it's like, oh, bet. Now they're going to wait. Now they're gonna wait. They like, I'm not rushing. I'm not getting this high. I don't know. You were talking about the Almusas. I don't think either of them, because didn't he remarry too?
He did remarry. I think she left because I guess he got sick, and she was saying that he was very mean, or got mean spirited or something like that, something along those lines. But when she was having issues with her third husband, she was at his house talking about her marriage to her third husband.
To her first husband.
To her second husband, because the first husband was a judge on a show that her and her ex-husband were competitions with. So I'm like, girl, like what the hell? But she was at his house. Now his wife isn't home, but she's there with their kids and talking to him about her third husband.
That's just messy all over the place.
That is messy.
Who does that?
But to your point, maybe she has that and men, y'all think y'all don't have it either. I know men that can glom on to women really, really fast too. But I think that like I know a couple who bonded over trauma.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't realize that they bonded over trauma until I met her.
Right.
I already knew him, but I met her.
Right.
I mean, and I'm just going to keep it a buck. My high school sweetheart, new wife, was talking to me about him. Now, we ain't been together. It's 26 years now. We ain't been together. But at this time, it was 23 years.
Wow.
And she was talking to me and telling me everything. And as I'm listening to the story, I'm like, you both met at a time when you were both sad and lonely, and you bonded over your trauma.
Right.
Now you don't have that trauma anymore, and you're beginning to notice the different personalities of each other, and how this person may no longer be a fit in your life. So that trauma bonding, that anxious attachment style, that the love bombing, all of that, and a lonely person is going to attach themselves to each one of those.
That's true.
If you're lonely.
Yeah, I think it's hard for people. Like we were talking when we did the show about the Rape Academy and the incels.
Mm-hmm.
I think that realistically, I've always said, even when I was younger, that I don't think anybody's ever really alone when you meet them. Nobody's ever really single when you meet them, because as humans, we generally find a reason to attach to another person. So like the trauma bonding and things like that, like even we didn't discuss the soul ties that happen when you get with somebody and the only thing you guys have in common is sex. Like that's what you guys do to, relieve stress, or, that your cut buddy, or, friends with
slam
benefits.
piece. It's a slam piece.
A slam piece. Yeah. And I think that a lot of times people get into those situations because they have an immediate need for the gratification of, what happens if, the serotonin that gets released, the dopamine that gets released when they get with someone, and then all of that kind of shatters the glass when they're not with that person. Because as women, I would like Sassy said before, I can only speak from the perspective of a woman. We tend to try to be exactly who that person wants us to be in order to fit the mold, to say, I'm here and I'm worthy and you should choose me. And we give up a lot of autonomy in that regard. And I remember my mother telling me, how you start is how you finish. If you're not going to always cook for this man, don't start always cooking for this man. If you aren't always able to just drop everything at a dime, don't start dropping everything at a dime when he calls, because once, that's his expectation. It's kind of like when women talk about men showing consistency, we need to show consistency as well. And it has to be from a healthy standpoint, in terms of the value of self. I think that's where a lot of the chaos versus chemistry and the lunacy versus love, all of those come into play, because we don't know ourselves enough to value ourselves and put limits and boundaries to say, okay, he didn't answer my call, he didn't call back. There's a consequence for that. The same way you raise a child, I think similarly is the same way you raise a relationship. You have expectations, you set boundaries, there's punishment involved. It's not a matter of just withholding sex. It's withholding access, it's withholding presence. It's, not being immediately available like you used to be. And all of those things can really make somebody show you who they really are in the moment and see the difference. But people thrive off of chaos. They thrive off of that energy. And from what I've heard, crazy people are really good in bed. So,
yeah. I don't.
I mean, kind of.
I say
Yeah,
that.
well,
I
yeah,
say that. Men. I've heard men say, "Ain't nothing better than some crazy coochie." Like,
yeah, well,
like,
yeah, that's.
I've heard them say that.
I mean,
As for a woman,
yeah.
a crazy man with a crazy D game, it can work different ways. You could get your tires slashed, boy. If you're
the tires rotated,
you can get your tires rotated, you get your tires slashed. But when you look at the fact that if women are out here or men out here saying that, oh, she got that good and she crazy, those are also the type of men you have to be leery of.
Mm-hmm.
Because to me they become physical.
Yeah.
So it's like you can't win. But KL, to your point, when you said we do things to prove our worthiness, like I'm cooking for you. I think we as women are so hell bent on being chosen that we give, as you said, we give our autonomy away, that we're doing, well, if she ain't cooking for him, I'm gonna cook for him. But then she only know how to make XYZ, but I know how to make, all of his favorites, like I can make oxtails,
You're gonna be passionate for the rest of your life.
Exactly. Like washing clothes and whatnot. Because I remember my mother was like, don't wash clothes. Don't wash his clothes. Why are you washing? You're not his wife. You don't live together. Why are you washing his clothes?
See, now that's a big discussion, because we do a lot of the benefits of a relationship without the actual contract, like being temporary employees, but you giving full-time benefits, and that don't even happen on a real job. So we tend to overindulge and over invest ourselves into relationships that aren't necessarily relationships.
And men think that giving their money, because your time means more to me than your money. When you would give up whatever it is you plan to do to spend time with me, to take time out of your day, that means more to me than you spending your money.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I like you spending your money, but I'd rather have you laid out on the couch watching a movie with me, eating some popcorn or whatever, as opposed to that, because you're telling me that I'm spending my time with you, and vice versa, ladies. And it means something. So it's the time, not necessarily the money, but social media have so many men confused with the money as being present, and it's not. You can throw money at any problem, but are you present while you're doing it?
Yeah. I told my husband when I met him, I don't want you buying me a card. Like, you got money. Like, that's nothing to you. I want you, if you really care about me, make me a card. And I remember when we started before we actually got into a committed relationship, he saw me with one of my homeboys, and my homeboy asked who he was. I was like, that's just a friend. And he went off. He was like, what do you mean I'm just a friend? I was just in your apartment. We were just doing such and such. We never had that conversation. You never asked me. And I've never been that girl to make the assumption, because the first time you do and you catch him in something, then it's, well, you ain't my girl. He's like, so what I got to do? Write it down in a note like we in elementary school? I was like, yeah, real talk. He took a Post-it and he wrote, will you be my girlfriend? Check yes or no. And I put maybe. He was like, yo, you go to hell. But on our 10th wedding anniversary, I had it framed and gave it to him. And I'm like, that meant something more. You got money. You spend money on anybody. Like, I don't care about money like that. What I care about are the things that really matter. Like, if you took time to write me a card, you took time to, figure out what I really like to do, and that's what you brought up. Like, yeah, that's different. So I agree with you on the money part.
Yeah.
What were you saying, April?
Shit. I ain't gonna lie. That comes with age. You forget.
I gotta start.
Well, but I to me, like, coming from being, in a situation where I was, where, money wasn't an issue. I think now, as I get older and you get to a point where you've been through some stuff, little things matter. Like, even like with my friend now, I don't expect for him to, like when birthdays are, I don't expect him to give me nothing. To me, that it is what it is. I could care less. But even like when there's little things like giving me a card and writing in it, or like noticing things such as like something as simple. Something as simple where I had got a wash. Well, I got the washer and dryer, and I was like, "Damn, I gotta go to the store and get some laundry detergent and all that." And then he just came in and was just like, "Here, I knew that you needed, so I got it." Yeah. And so it's stuff like that that makes me feel, okay, you're paying attention to not only what I'm saying, but you're focusing on, okay, you know what? Let me see, even if it's just simply just buying some laundry detergent to make things a little bit more, because you see that I'm running, doing this, doing that, doing that. So for me, it's, and I don't know, I guess it becomes as you get older to where material things just really don't mean that much. It really doesn't. And like you were saying, Sassy, time means a lot to me too. Like the fact that, even we just sit down and watch a football or basketball game or smoking cigars or whatever. Like it's like, it's those things, it's those times that matters, or just sitting down and just having a simple conversation and laughing and talking. Like,
and people don't do that anymore. Like we play Uno, and we might play Monopoly or something. Just do something that, and ladies, it doesn't always require money. No. And I think we are so, again, with social media and looking at these fake ass relationships that are online and people posting these things, and they looking at these influencers saying, "I want my life to be like that." You don't know the bullshit that these people are going through, and the things that these people are putting up with. Men and women alike. But more than likely, it's the woman that's being put through the ringer, twisting herself into a pretzel to present this traditional values, the trad wife. And if she's not the trad wife, then she's the girl boss, like, or the boss bitch, or you know what I'm saying? It's like you can't win. You can't seem to win with that. And we've allowed social media to tell us if he's not 6 feet and he's not making six figures and he can't buy you a Gucci bag, and bitch, you can't buy yourself a fucking Gucci bag.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? You can barely afford a Michael Kors or a Coach, and that's from the outlets. I'm not talking about from the actual main stores. I'm talking about like the outlet prices. You can't even afford that, but yet you want him to take his hard-earned money and spend $3,800 for you on a Gucci whatever.
Right. And that's why anything that's why you get with them. That's why you right.
And men, you get with women with that expectation. You want a bad bitch, you know it's gonna cost. Mm-hmm. And I hate to say this: 10s get with 10s, 9 get with 9s, 8s get with 8s, 7 get with 7s. Going down the line, right? You know what I'm saying? As April always say, date your wage. Date your wage. You got to date your wage, but also date your range.
That's true. That's true.
I think we have the unrealistic expectations of who we have to be as women is really difficult to maneuver through, because for one, we always have these ability to, I don't want to say transcend, but I will say we're conditioned to fit into molds. We're always told, from a little girl, we're always told what we could and couldn't do, what we should and shouldn't do, what a lady does, what a non-lady does. There are all these stipulations about how we're supposed to carry ourselves. And I think that we don't get a chance to really evolve now. Like when you have Black children and you have to have the conversation. And that realization is different for white children than Black children, the same way being a Black woman is
different than being a white woman.
Yeah.
We are the same grace and forgiveness that they get. Like, we always
get automatic grace. They get automatic grace.
Yeah. Automatic. It's conditioned learning. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the biggest thing, is that it's conditioned learning. We're we're conditioned to learn things
One second.
that you know that because I was watching something and they were kind of talking a little bit like this, but they were relating it to the church where you're conditioned.
That's a whole nother show.
Yeah, like when you come in the door, they tell you got to wear a hat or you can't come in wearing pants. Like it's like
you can't sit on the front row.
Yes,
Women
yeah,
can't sit
like-
on the front row. You got to sit
Yeah.
on, and if you do, you got to use a prayer cloth to
Yeah,
cover your legs
exactly.
because
So
you're
it's-
tempting
right.
the pastor. And
So
you
it's
know.
like it's conditioned learning, and I think that's sometimes we have to start breaking these cycles where we're teaching our young children that you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do this, you can't do that, and who says that you can't? Like, where is it written that you can't? Now, I get, you know, you want to have certain types of standards about yourself and certain type of respect for yourself and all that. But at the end of the day, like, it's like we're choosing to bond to the chaos, to the traumas. We're bonding with them and making it look normal when it's not.
Well, that's because society, and I'm going to say this, and y'all can get mad. Society, as April says, conditioned Black women to only accept struggle love. If it's not a struggle, it ain't love. It can't be soft. It can't be easy. We can't be vulnerable. We can't be loved out loud. Because if we're loved out loud, then that man, and we can use a perfect example, is how Russell Wilson loves on Sierra. Because it's been conditioned in Black men that a woman that has a child out of wedlock and her dating history previously has zero value. So to meet a man like Russell, who is, you know, the upstanding, I don't want to use the boy next door, but like the upstanding guy with a great reputation, to come along and not only love her, but love her son and raise her son and treats him as his own and loves her out loud and proudly, it stirs the spirit of niggas. I'm sorry, I'm gonna cut that out. It disturbs the spirit of Black men who don't like us and don't see the value in us.
He gets called, he's being played and all of this.
A simp. He's called a simp, a gump,
I
a
think
cuck.
the media, because I know a lot of men who marry and take care of someone else's child. Like, I have a sister.
My daddy was one of them.
You see, my sister and I don't have the same father, but my dad married my mom and he knew she had another daughter. My husband, you know, before he was married to a woman who had a child and they had a child together. So I don't think it gets the play. I think that the media and things of that nature, that narrative is pushed. I don't think the reality of who we are as a people really comes across authentically when it's transmitted back to us. Because I know so many single fathers who have custody of their children. I know so many men who actually take care of kids that don't belong to them biologically, who've loved them since conception. So I don't think that that's necessarily the reality across the board. I think the narrative is pushed so that we always have to be in this position where we're told, you know, that Black men, and this isn't a cop out towards them, but that Black men have it so hard. You have to, you know, you have to take care of him. We are always the caregiver, the nanny, the mammy, that aspect of who we are. Exactly. That's why now, even in the political realm, everybody's so shocked and appalled that we haven't put on our capes to go and save the world, because that's who we were generally made to be, the savior, the nurturer. We raise other people's kids to, you know, the negligence of our own children, because our children weren't allowed to come into the house, but we had to go watch Massa's children and raise them and suckle them to our breasts and be wet nurses to them. But what happens to our children who need to be taken care of? That's why I have so much respect for people who come here from other countries who leave their children and have to work every day and send money back to their kids because they want something better for their kids. I think that we as women really have to start saying, this is who we are, and owning it and speaking it out loud. Like, I love how Sassy embraces her sexuality. I'm in awe of it. I really am, because I think that
But it
it speaks
didn't happen
to,
overnight. What I'm saying, it didn't. It came with maturity. It came with time, and it came with the level of not giving two fucks.
yeah, but that's still hard to get to. We give so many
It
fucks.
is.
That's the whole problem. Like, even a young girl came in here today. She just got a job with this. She has to be mindful of how she wears her hair. She can't wear her hair braided too many days of the month, because she doesn't want to be too urban or too black for the people she works with. And I'm like, that constant pressure, that constant being under scrutiny and under a microscope for everything. Imagine being that
I
fit
don't.
into that mold
Yeah.
that this person.
Yeah, that's a hold up. That
That's
that's
a
another
whole
show
nother
too.
show, yeah,
That's a whole nother show.
Yeah.
But I know we're running out of time, April. But when you talk about, I think KL just mentioned it about us loving on ourselves, April, and I have to just give kudos, because this is an amazing segment, just like the last one, which is why we had to do part 2. When we talk about a healthy love refrain, where we can call it a refrain, but it's more like affirmations, where we take all the chaos and we rewrite the story. And I think as women, we need to rewrite the story. So go ahead, April. With those.
So just real quick, dang, we're running low on time. All right, so
Yeah, I know.
micro healing. So 3 shifts that I think if we all could just kind of take this week. Slow down your yes. Meaning,
Okay.
Don't be so quick to be like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, no, sure, what you need me to do? Slow that down. Slow your roll. If you tend to jump all in when chemistry is strong, practice slowing down. I have said this to a couple of folks. Dating longer before committing. Watch what they do when they're disappointed, embarrassed, or told no. That's where their character shows. No is a complete sentence that folks do not like. And it's not just men. You have some women out here who don't like to hear no.
And that's when the fucks come in.
Yes.
like that's when it comes in.
That's when it comes. Let yourself feel boring safety. If peace feels boring, don't run. Sit in it. Oh, I do that all the time. Notice how your body reacts when someone texts back consistently, shows up on time, and doesn't play games. The discomfort isn't a red flag about them. It might be a sign that your nervous system is used to chaos. And final thing, tell yourself the truth on paper.
Yep.
Grab a journal and answer, what did I grow up believing love looked like? What patterns do I see between my last 3 relationships or situationships? If my younger self watched me today, what would she think I deserve?
And then April, when you talked about peace, you also have, and I'm looking in the notes, it says, if peace feels boring, ask yourself who taught you that pain was passion. Ooh.
Ooh.
Who taught you that?
Yeah.
And I think that's where the trauma comes in with it, or the struggle love comes in with that narrative. And you're right, Kimberly. I have a lot of married friends that are not only not only love each other, but you can really see they like the people they're married to. Then, I mean, I'm not saying they don't have their issues. I'm not in their marriage. I'm sure they do. But you can see, when you see them together, you can see the yin and the yang, and you can see them silently talking to each other. You know what I mean? You can see that they like each other.
Yeah.
And it says healthy love might be challenging at times, but it should not be confusing every day.
It shouldn't.
Every day.
Right.
How do you do it?
Yeah, and you have to be able to be okay with sitting and being by yourself. I can tell you some of the best times that I can really focus and think and just take a deep breath is when I am sitting at home by myself. Sometimes, I like to go sit outside. But if I'm sitting at home by myself, or I'm watching TV, or I'm cooking, like, those are the times that I actually, like, enjoy, like, being by myself. And I think a big part of that is because I actually like me. And that's the thing. If I don't like me, how am I going to expect somebody else not to like me?
To like you. Exactly. Exactly.
And I think that's the problem. People don't like being alone. They don't like being alone.
But they don't like themselves.
And they don't.
And you hit the nail on the head. They don't like themselves.
Yeah, they don't. They don't. It's sad. It's sad because
COVID showed a lot of that, though.
Oh well,
yes.
Yeah,
yes,
that's true.
Yes.
That was
COVID exposed. COVID was the blessing and the curse we needed. One, the earth needed to heal from the bullshit we was putting her through. First of all, because you could see how blue the sky was, how much fresher the air was. You could literally see how greener the grass and the trees got because people weren't driving. We weren't doing the bullshit that we were doing to her. But not only that, you saw how your relationships were either great or not great. Right. And then for those of us who lived alone, like Sassy, and if you lived alone like me and you didn't have a connection with your family, because COVID brought my family, my immediate family, and my extended family closer together. Mm-hmm. And I noticed how each one of the families, my cousins and her brothers and sisters, how they became closer together. Right. So that was the blessing of COVID that I can see. But the curse was people were so lonely, some of them were committing suicide.
Right. Yeah.
So
you were able to develop bond. And
I know a lot of people divorced. I know a lot of abuse happened. Mm-hmm. I know that a lot of people really, like for COVID, it was the weirdest thing. I remember being little and wishing, like, if the world ever stopped, that's what's going to be great. And then when it happened, like, I worked every single day. Like, I didn't get a chance to be home and do all that, but it was, we bubbled in. But I think that if you're around people that you don't necessarily really like, because I will say that even in a marriage or even in a family, you only spend but so much of your day with those people because you work, you have social events and things of that nature. But now you home with this 24/7 person who breathing just is like nails on a chalkboard. And, you thinking of ways of, how to escape. You don't want to talk, and your personalities may even be different. You might be more quiet and they're more loud, and that works in social environments when you guys go out together because you get to be quiet and they get to be the life of the party. But now the life of the party is in your house and you like, shut the fuck up. So
that's true.
So
I was so happy I wasn't married during COVID.
Girl. See? I'm telling you, the number of dudes that was trying to come and just slap what? It's COVID. Do you know it is COVID out there?
You know what? I ain't gonna lie. Me and my cousins hung out. We were outside, and I spent a lot of time at the cigar lounge outside. But I think for the most part, I worked from home, and I was just like, oh, okay. It gave me a time to really kind of pause and really evaluate everything. Because, during that time, there was a whole bunch of shit going on. So it was just like, to actually take that time to reevaluate and really actually get to know me. Like, when you're running around and you're taking care of this person, take care of that person, and doing this and working and all, you tend to really ignore you.
You really do.
You had no choice during that time but to sit and learn you.
And hopefully we don't go through that shit again with this new shit.
Virus.
Virus.
I know we're running out of time. I know I done said it twice, y'all, but we really are running out of time.
We are. So, two last things. Attachment isn't a life sentence; it's a starting point. You are allowed to learn a new way to be loved. And if peace feels boring, ask yourself, as Sassy said, who taught you pain was passion?
Pain was passion.
Yeah. But That was a lot.
That was a lot. That was a lot.
That's why we
That
had
was
to
a
do
lot.
part 2. But this was good. This was
Yeah, this was really good. This was
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah.
We should take this live somewhere and talk to some
We
women
do.
about
We're
their
gonna have
chaos
to.
and chemistry.
We do.
We
We're
do.
gonna
Yep.
definitely do that.
We do.
All right. So, my final thought for today, and kind of showing my age just a little bit. Life was much easier when Apple and Blackberry were simply a fruit.
And it's gonna go over some people's heads.
Yeah, really. Before I forget, our poll question: How have you personally confused chaos with love in a relationship? And I believe we had roughly 45% actually admitted to the chaos.
Ooh, that's almost half.
I wonder if they're making an exit strategy.
Never know.
I can't sit in the. I'm telling you, I can't sit in the chaos because I used to be one of those people that when I would
can't.
argue, it was nothing for me to stomp and slam doors and drawers and whatnot and call you a fat neck bitch and whatnot. Now it's just like, okay, it's like.
No, I'm the last person. I can't.
I'm not
I can't do
arguing.
arguing. I don't do arguing. I don't do the arguing. I'll completely shut down. And
I'll shut down and get quiet.
And I'll be like, you know what? You got it. You got it.
Yep. You right. You right. You right. You right.
Yeah. If I start saying, yeah, you right. You know what?
You right.
Yeah,
you right. You right.
Yeah.
You right. I'm wrong. I'm always wrong, but you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But our poll question for this week is: have you told yourself the truth about your relationship?
Yeah.
We'll see. A lot of people.
I mean,
I need to go online.
I know the truth.
Yeah, but will you admit it? All right, y'all. All right,
y'all.
This is Women's Talk Live with your girl, April J.
I'm your girl, SassyScribe.
And this is KL Boogie.
All right, y'all. We'll see y'all next week.
Peace.
Women talk live.